This is your 2019 Subaru Forester, all new for this model year. Let's go Quirks, Perks, and Irks. I've got the top trim Premier model. So everything except the turn signals are LED. Turn signals are halogen, not that big of a deal. It looks really nice, really sharp. And I like the conservative approach that Subaru has taken with this. It's just, to me, let it be a function of our fashion. Nothing wrong with that. And just I like the way Subaru has always done that. Cool little quirk here. Deeply scooped hood pattern, very, very nice. Interestingly, you see this chrome mirror cap only on the Premier. Every other trim has body colored mirror caps. Very interesting note there. Let's back up. So the Subaru Forester keeps its shape from the outgoing model. Definitely a good thing for me because it's good. It's got really tall windows, a nice conservative approach, and it's done very well. It's not overly aggressive like Toyota has done with their recent models, where it's pretty much metal origami and it's not boring and unattractive to look at. It's a good balance of both. Let's go around the rear as I try and talk a little louder than the plane. I'm hoping this does the trick. So you have your kind of claw-like rear light design. I think that's kind of cool, quirky. An Irk, there's only one exhaust pipe instead of two. Even a dummy there would have been nice just to make it symmetrical. Let's take a look in the trunk. 935 liters of cargo space. Let me check my notes. Yep, 935. And you got 2008 with the seats down. So interestingly, what happens is you pull this, you close that, and that's certainly not the interesting part. The interesting part is that there's a gap here. And Subaru has given us a little extra flap of privacy stuff, and there's two places to put it. You put it down low here if you, oh, come on, one-handed. Can we do it? There and there. Perfect. So that fits there because the rear seats recline. And if you want your person to go back, or if your rear passenger wants some space, pull it back. You still get that little bit of privacy and the cover there. If by chance they want their seat all the way up, there's another notch there as well as there to pull it up all the way. So it's pretty much nearly flush with the back of that seat. Very nicely done. Nice attention to detail there. And if you don't want this at all, you simply just pull it out and that's the end of that. Seat belt for the middle passenger hangs out up top. You can undo it completely like I have, so you don't have that thing pretty much draped that way that's impeding your line of sight. So well done, Subaru, on that. You get your seat releases, you get your hooks, and you have a little bit of power right there as well. Let's close this part up and take a look at the rear seats. Nice one-touch close. Very nicely done. Easy to use. Nice brown interior and green exterior, and it's kind of like a forest because it's a Forester and the trees are green and brown. Anyways, just wanted to point out that there are no forests in Mississauga, so I found the closest thing with a green backdrop. And yeah, that's my attempt at humor. I will not quit my day job. A quirky thing is this is a big panel for one single switch. Kind of cool, kind of interesting. Most of them are just small and tiny, than about the size of the switch. So nicely done there, Subaru. Taking a look at the front, that's where we're about to jump into. There's a massive sunroof. I've closed the sunshade for now because it's putting some glare on the screen. But, you know, let's keep the take going. Let's, oh, one other thing before we go to the front. Dual heated seats, sorry, two-stage heated seats for your rear passengers here. And this is kind of quirky. You've got your regular magazine pocket, but then you've got a divided secondary one for, you know, whatever. No, you can still go all the way through, but there's just that little piece of stitching there that separates it for, you know, whether it's a USB or something small or whatever it is you want to put in there. The doors are great because that's your lock, that's your unlock. Really, really like that. Sorry for the dirt. Let's just take a look up and go this way. Really nice looking interior. It looks really upscale, and I'm a big fan of how Subaru's done that at a nominal price point. I lost my train of thought, but now it's back. This is cool. This is a good perk. Your headrest can adjust to a different positions because everyone's made differently. Let's jump in and take a look. A very cool perk for me and kind of a quirk. There's a textured pattern there and there. And if we look closely at the dashboard, that quirky pattern still continues. So well done there, Subaru, on a little attention to detail. I really like that. Let's jump up here. Here is your screen. 6.3, you got all sorts of information out of it. And what you do is you hit info and that runs you through all your different screens. I'm going to stay here for a quick sec. I've done 501.7 kilometers and I've run 9.8 on my consumption. Not too bad. I've done a lot of city driving. quirk and kind of an irk. Subaru's distance to empty will always be a denomination of 10. You'll never get 17, 27, 191. It's always denominations of 10. Not really a big fan of that. I would have liked to have the actual exact number, but I digress. Quirk for me, kind of a perk. They've set up their line for 0 horizontally instead of it being at the bottom or kind of off on an angle. So that's kind of cool. This gives you a ton of information. The cool part for me is the automatic start stop, because that shows you how many minutes you've used and that shows you how much fuel you've saved. So people like it, people don't like it. I'm a fan of it because, well, it saves gas and it saves unnecessary wear on the engine. So 991 milliliters, not bad for 46 minutes on things I would have otherwise really not saved on. There is all sorts of cool stuff here. I'll get into this and the driving portion. SRH is your steering responsive headlights. I don't know why anybody would want them off. I think it's a wonderful piece of technology, and I think they should always be on. I think it should be fixed to an on position. But, you know, that's just me. If you're paying for it, why wouldn't you use it? Cool thing here, it's an actual push button for your trip reset instead of having to fish around the menus. So that's kind of interesting. I'm going to show you a couple of different screens here on the smaller and upper screen. So the safety stuff, your angle, whether you're going up or down, and your different safety systems and your acceleration, weather, and whatnot. Infotainment, very easy to use, really, really sharp. I like it, Subaru. This is the bigger 8-inch screen. 6.5 comes with the lower trims. Again, it's just so easy to use, and I think a lot of screens are going that way now. And thank goodness, because some of them are just plain awful, and Subarus are one of the better ones that I've seen and experienced. HVAC controls, nice push button and dials. Piano black, not a big fan because fingerprints show up sometimes, and not really a fan, but that's just me. A little bit of storage there, a couple of cup holders, and the cool thing, if you don't want to use your cup holder for whatever reason, you just pull that whole thing out. And you can, you don't drop it, but if you have something bigger that goes in there and you don't want to use your cup holders, and it just pops right back in, and a couple of different sizes, so very nicely done. There's your X mode, and it controls your I'll get into that in the driving portion. I think that's going to wrap it up. Oh, wait. One more thing. This massive sunroof is, I think it's the biggest sunroof in its class. Like, look at the size of that. It barely fits in this in the camera, in the frame. So Quirk, it's massive. Perk, it's massive, and a bit of an irk is it doesn't tilt. It only opens and closes. But if you do want to get some air and you just push it back a little bit, that little windscreen comes up, kills most of the noise, and you still get some of the air. It's too big to have on tilt. That's just the long, short, and middle of it. Anyways, that's going to wrap up the interior. Let's get this thing out on the road and see what it's like. Full marks on the interior. Let's just get out and give you one good look from the outside in at the interior of the 2019 Subaru Forester. Wow, I can't believe I forgot what kind of car I had, even though I've had it for a week. Anyways, be right back. We're here with the 2019 Subaru Forester, top trim with EyeSight. In case you don't know where the EyeSight is, it's those two lenses right there at the top of the windshield. And we've got Ted with us, our test dummy, and we're going to check out how well Subaru's EyeSight works for pre-collision braking. A very cool and quirky thing about the Forester, middle of the dashboard, there is an aerial look at the rear. I've put my foot on the brake, and the brake lights show up right in the middle. That's very cool. Off, on, off, on. Anyways, very cool, very quirky. Well done, Subaru. Let's do the drive. The 2019 Forester. You get one engine. It's 2.5 liter boxer, 4-cylinder, 182 horse, 176 pound-feet of torque. There is no XT. There is no manual. People weren't buying them, so Subaru's like, why are we making them? No one's going to buy them. I think the stat I saw was 5% of Subarus bought in the last year or 2 years respect with a manual transmission, and that's just not nearly enough to warrant carrying it over. No point making something nobody wants, so to speak. Let's talk about this little thin line here, part of Subaru's brand new DriverFocus technology, available only on the top Premier trim. And it's a facial recognition camera. And basically, it's watching your eyes to make sure your eyes are on the road. If you're looking at an accident there, or somewhere up here, if you're texting and driving, which you should not do, but if for whatever reason your eyes are off the road, an audible chime will hit you twice or 3 times, and there'll be a little sign there that says put your eyes on the road, or eyes back on the road, or whatever it was specifically, but it's going to remind you, put your eyes back on the road. It threw me for a loop my first couple of days because it was bright and sunny and I had sunglasses on, and it would just chime off at me for what it seemed to me to be no reason. I'm like, well, my eyes are straight ahead. I'm not looking anywhere else. Why are you beeping at me? Did some digging, and then I found out that if you are wearing sunglasses, it may kind of confuse the system a little bit because the lenses and the frames kind of muck around with the actual facial recognition technology, because it's looking for your eyes from here to here to see where they're pointing. And if you're wearing sunglasses, especially darker sunglasses, you may just, it may not see it. So cool technology, really nice. Yes, you can manually override it to put it off when you're driving, but it will always default to the on position. I like it. Good job, Subaru, being one of the few companies to offer this, and I hope it's offered in many more vehicles going forward. As far as the drive goes itself, it's a Subaru. It's comfortable. It's much quieter than the last Forester. So good on them for that. It still has the very, very tall mirrors. So therefore, it's a bit of a taller ride height for me. And you feel it in the turns. You know, it's not tippy at all, not in the least. But you feel it, you know, when you're making a right turn or a left turn. There's a bit of that sway in there. But again, it's not nearly enough to make you feel unsafe or uncomfortable at all. It's just higher center of gravity. That's what you get. It doesn't matter what car it is. That's just how it's going to go. Aside from that, for being the vehicle that it is, good old crossover, it's very comfortable to drive. There's a great line of sight. This mirror, otherwise known as windshield, it is huge and massive, and that is one of the first things I noticed as soon as I got in the car. It was just, it's abnormally wide, and I think that's great because this is just a very good vehicle for visibility. And the side mirror, the mirrors, I keep saying mirrors, but I really mean to say windows. The windows are very tall. The back window is huge. The front windshield, also known as the only windshield, is also huge. And it's comfortable to drive, and it fits a lot of stuff. A little over 2,000 liters of cargo space in this trim, which is Premier, which has the sunroof. If you go non-sunroof, I think it's another almost 100 liters of cargo space. And overall, it fits right into the segment. Now, the Forester is up against the RAV4s, the CX-5s, the CRVs, all the other named acronyms. I'm happy that Subaru chose an actual word for their SUV, and I'm happy they've stuck with it. Forester's been around for many years. They've always kept that one word name for it, so thank you for that. I think that's going to wrap the video up. 2019 Forester, more upscale than you'd think it is. Lots of available safety technology, conservative looks, not too bad on gas, 9.8 liters per 100 kilometers. This DriverFocus technology, really, really nice. I'm a big fan of it. And as we march on in the world of automotive advancements, I think a lot more vehicles will have much more active safety technology. Yes, this has the EyeSight safety feature as well. It's a 2019 IIHS top safety pick. I will list off the EyeSight features, we'll say somewhere around here now, for those of you who aren't sure what comes with the EyeSight package. CarPlay is standard, Android Auto is standard. I think that's it. Yeah, let's wrap the video here. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. The support means a lot to a small business trying to do big things in a very competitive world. And if there are any questions on the vehicle, please let me know. I'll do my absolute best to answer them very quickly and get back to you. And yeah, so thanks again for watching, and we'll be back sooner than later with our next review.